it's like, when they say people don't trespass walking on the grass, for example, people use the path. People are not rude per se, they're not loud. The level of civility in certain countries is very admirable. And then we have African countries. But let me talk about Kenya, because this is my country.
Yeah.
We have our historical things going on. But I feel like we are way better than majority of African countries. So for us to get to a level where, we are like, for example, Netherlands or Denmark, is it a case of improving our education system, or how do we approach this thing now?
Yeah, I don't know your education system very well.
Yeah.
I know it from the slums.
Yeah.
So I know you can want to do a lot of things, but it's still not possible. You don't have textbooks. There's no pencils. There's no light. It gets very difficult to educate. I think it's more like people they have access to the whole world. We have social media. You can get information anywhere.
That's true.
And they will get affected by that. And they will start gathering information. They will start to see that there is something different. It's like one from the slums, maybe never been to Nairobi, or for that matter, outside of Kenya. So that's a big change if they get to access that. And Kenyans who can travel, they kind of get the things in. And you need role models. You can't just change the whole system and then expect everybody will be like the Netherlands or Denmark. You need to change individuals, and they need to show it. They need to show the way. Because some comments were also like, "You're white." No, I'm a human being. Like, you're black. What makes a difference? Like, you have the same brain as me. Like, if you got exposed to the same thing I got exposed, you would be me. So I don't believe in the color thing at all. I believe in human beings, and that whatever you set your mind to, there are successful Kenyans everywhere. Like, you're just a very big country with a lot of people, and a lot of people live under the poverty, and that's a problem too.
I believe in community. I believe in sharing. I believe in working together as a unit in order to uplift each other. Do you think Kenyans value community? Do you think we like working together?
I have great examples. Let's start with the bad one first. Nobody trusts anybody here.
I agree.
If you have money on the table, you can't trust even your dad.
I agree.
Like sister, brother, mother, whatever. If there's money on the table, you need to be there. You need to, like, one for you, one for me. Like, you can't have a bank account and then all our profit go in there. Let's meet once a month. They will never be there once a month. So that's an issue. There's no trust between people. Then one day in Mathare, I came, and one of the volunteers I work with came, Morten, you need to come with me. And we ran. I was just like, what's going on? I just ran. There was a fire.
Oh.
Wow.
And it goes fast. Like, I work in the Mapatini area, so it's like metal everywhere, and a lot of wood structure inside. It just flames up. There I saw Kenyans work together, and they put out that fire. They don't even have to communicate. Some people just took the water. Some people crawled on the roof. Some people poured the water on the fire. Everything went smoothly. Nobody talked. Like, they just, why can't you do that in business? Like, you can work together. I've seen it. Just because it's your life at stake, but it's your life at stake here. You can have a better life if you learn to work with people.
You're very right. When I look at the Indian community, and even the Somali community, they really know how to work together.
Absolutely.
They live in families. So, even the family setting, I remember our former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, he said, Kenyans, what's going on? We need to go back to the traditional family setting, dad, mom, and kids. These days, it's like, even when you have a wifey, guys are looking at you like, you're not normal. Like, how is it that you have a normal nuclear family setting? Even the new generation, people are finding it hard to, have longevity in relationships. So I understand what you're saying. It's very true, Stephanie.
Yeah, no, I like what you said about time, because it's still a pet peeve of mine, but like, I had to go to the point where I'm just there like, if you say 2, I'm adding 2 hours to that. Because it used to get to the point where I'd be like, okay, let's meet at 8. Someone shows up at 11 o'clock. I'm like, why did you waste my time? So that is a big thing. And it's actually known everywhere in the world that Kenyans are the worst timekeepers. Which
I think
is
it's
so
Africans.
bad. No,
African timer.
Yeah.
It's even a name. You actually talked about it, African timing.
African timer.
Yeah.
And some people
Some
mentioned.
Ghanaians are even more punctual than we are.
I think Kenyans, we extended. We're probably the worst.
We're a bit
We're
extreme.
the worst of the African timers.
Yeah.
Let's say
Guys are
that.
crazy.
You're told show up at 3, you show
Yeah,
up at 6.
at 6.
Why?
So
my
I saw
God.
some amazing pictures on your pages as well with young children, even on your WhatsApp status as an adorable young girl. Just tell us about the projects you're doing in Mathare, because I actually know Mathare. I've been there a couple of times.
Okay.
Especially the hospital, the mental institute that's very close by there.
Yep.
Could you just kindly tell us about the projects that you're doing there and how you're
sure.
reaching out to the community?
So the first time I got there, I got introduced to these 3 guys, Giapollo, Dominic, and Dutch, and they've been doing community work. They live in Mathare themselves. They've been doing it for 10 years, and I was looking for people that I could trust, which means somebody who already shown their worth, shown that they have the spirit.
Yeah.
We don't get paid, but we do it every day.
Wow.
Anyway, so they've been doing it for more than 10 years when I met them. So I was like, okay, there's some guys that I can work with. And that's how it started. And then we became officially in March, where we founded the CPO.
Okay.
And then we've been trying to, get some funding, get some awareness.
Yeah.
And then we have 3 programs. Like one of them is I go and coach other CPOs.
Okay.
Which means internally to help them be better at organizing leadership skills and so on. So we're doing one with an organization in Kibera called Nivishi, and then they help us with some mental health care for women, because that's what they do. They have therapists and so on.
Yeah.
And I go help them with whatever it is that I'm doing within leadership skills and so on.
Right.
So that's my part in it. And then we support a school in Mathare when we have the funds.
Yeah.
We try and find sponsors for single kids. Like, I don't believe that I can save the whole of Mathare.
Yeah.
Not even the Mapatini area. But I can change lives for some people.
Yeah.
And some people who show interest in helping, even though they don't have much, they
Yeah.
don't have much time or effort or skills, but they still try.
Right.
These people I want to promote. So we find sponsors in Denmark, hopefully also outside Denmark, and they sponsor their school and their school uniforms. We even have one who sponsors the whole family, make sure they have food, even though she's sent in boarding school. And that's what I want to do. And hopefully this family will also be a pilot project that is a 360, which means we get a sponsor for the kid. We teach the parents, which sometimes is single parents, mostly single moms, but this family is actually a nuclear family with mom, dad, and 2 siblings.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And helping the dad and the mom create a business so they can be self-sustainable, so they are not depending on us. I really don't like charity.
Yeah.
I can't say I hate charity, because it's also good for something, but it's just a never-ending story.
Yeah.
So I would rather help them invest a little bit of time and money, and then help them build a business so they can, be a good example.
What are some of the opportunities that you've noticed that Kenyan people have missed out on?
First of all, there's the judgment phase.
Right.
It's kind of like, we don't listen to anyone. We know better. And that's your pride. Sorry to say, but it's like, if I poke a little bit too much, I will get a reaction. That's definitely a trigger. So if I disagree too much, if I tell you or give you some feedback on, I don't think this is good, I don't think what you're doing there is good, you might want to try this or this and this, and then you're defensive. You almost want to smack me.
Yeah.
Because I point out things that you already know, but you don't want to accept. Because if you need to accept it, first of all, you need to take a step back. You might need to say, I'm sorry to someone, because you might have done something or said something that, just to protect yourself. And then you need to start over. You need to build on top of what you have, because you don't have it now. So there's no shortcut.
Right.
We look for quick fixes all the time. Like, I do that too. If I had an easier way to come here today, I would definitely have taken it. But we look for shortcuts all the time, because though you say no hurry in Africa, but have you seen traffic here in Matatus? Like, it's like suicide drivers, like kamikaze pilots. So yes, there's hurry in Africa because time is important for everybody. Like we can't waste it, and if we waste too much, we miss out.
Yeah.
And that's the only source you never get back.
Many a times I usually hear people talking about our leadership, even from the past. The reason we are in this particular position, all these other problems that we have, is because our leaders didn't set the bar high, even in terms of their own mannerisms. They were not an ideal for us to look up to and say, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to be like her. I want to be like him. You know, so my dad usually tells me to be a leader without a title. You know, he used to be in the military and he used to tell me, Kevin, you don't have to be a CEO. You don't have to be anything. You just need to be a leader of your own self, the way you carry yourself. So what are some of the things, because I know you mentioned in your program, you teach young people using your CBO how to be leaders, how to take responsibility. So what are some of the practical things that we can do as young men and women, because the majority of Kenyans are very young, in order to be young leaders, in order to take up responsibility, for example? You know, you take care of your family, take care of your environment, take care of your health. You know, what are some things that we can, one of the things that we can start with, for example?
So I notice a lot of people who get promoted here or get in some kind of power, the first day they misuse it. Because now I have the power, finally, let me use it.
I can steal now.
Yes, I can steal now. I can tell you what to do.
Correct.
And I can just sit back and bring me some water and bring me some champatis, and then I'll watch over you. And nobody respects that.
Right.
There will, like, if there was like these annual conversation with how are we doing, like nobody dares to say to the guy in charge or the woman in charge, you're not doing a very good job.
Oh, no one can hold him into account.
No, because if you do that, I'll find someone else who wants to listen.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And they can't afford to lose the job. So there's a lot of things that leaders, that comes with responsibilities, not titles. And leaders are made by doing. By, you know, if you see military, you mentioned military, I don't see a sergeant going 2 kilometers behind his squad. Like, he's up there. He's with them. And that's what a leader should do.
Right.
Like, be in the dirt. So, more responsibility, show the way, even though you fail. And that's another thing here. Nobody ever made a mistake in Kenya. It's like the only country I've been in where nobody has ever made a mistake.
No one accepts mistakes.
Yeah.
No.
So,
When was the
brush
last
it
time you
over.
heard someone say, I'm sorry,
I'm
that was
sorry.
my fault?
I'm sorry,
Never.
it's not
They
in our,
would never.
it's not in our lingo.
Because they're going to look weak. You don't want to look weak in your community amongst the people. That's the problem.
What is it about the leaders that we know from wherever? You probably have one in mind outside Kenya.
Yeah.
What they probably do is they admit to mistakes and they own up to them and say, like, you're not going to become anyone unless you make the mistakes and learn from them. And that's it. Like, if you are not man enough or woman enough to admit a mistake,
Yeah.
who will respect you then?
Martha, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When I look at some of the leaders in the Western world, I saw a picture of a leader on the subway, like in a train. And he's looking all simple. They didn't even have bodyguards. I see some of them cycling, you know, looking all simple.
Real chill.
How do you get to that mental frame where you know you don't need to show off your wealth, you don't even need to be extravagant, you don't need to live in luxury, and yet you're a leader of the masses? How do your leaders get to that, that mental?
Yeah. The leaders I coach, because leaders in politics, I really don't like.
Doesn't even have to be politics.
No. So let's just take leaders in companies or even NGOs
Sports,
or whatever. Sports,
anything. Yeah.
I think they leave their ego outside the door.
Oh, so it's an ego problem.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of ego problems. It's kind of like you have your pride, you have your ego. I think the ego is the foundation. Like, you don't have anything else, then you have your ego first, and then you build on top of that. Then you're told, if you can't do that right, you'll get punished. And you come home and you show your parents your grades. And that's the start. So I will never admit to that. I will go a far way just to fake it. You know, how can I put an A on an F here? Like, you're willing to take chances to lie, to not admit. And I think what the leaders do that we can respect and look up to, who's really comfortable in themselves, they're vulnerable.
Okay.
Like you say, so they go without bodyguards. They're vulnerable. Like anybody could go up and knock them down, but nobody does. So I don't know why that is, but I believe that's about, I feel comfortable in myself.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable in saying, people, I made a mistake. I fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'll make it up to you.
All right.
Well, what are some of the positive? Okay, I know we've. Let me just give it a little bit of a
I hate
twist.
that one.
I know. I mean, Kenyans are different, and there's so much that we do that's different. But what are some of the things that you've taken, and you felt like this is really good, this is positive from the Kenyan people? Maybe it's family ties, cultural, anything. Could be food, could be music and dance.
Could be a work ethic.
Yeah, it could be a work ethic. What do you feel is like, some of the things that you will always carry with you when it comes to Kenyan people as a community?
Well, food for sure. Like, give me a chapati
Yo.
and all yours.
Chapati. I heard you mention you love chapatis.
That's the only thing you like about Kenya.
Oh,
No, but I've come to know a lot of Kenyans, and they're lovely people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're, family oriented. They take care of their kids. They take responsibility. They don't always admit mistakes, but we can't get everything at once.
Yeah.
I really feel welcome. I've never felt not welcome.
okay.
Yeah. What else is there? Like, there's a lot of things that has an effect on me. That's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
I've also been to the party life. I've never seen anything as amazing as a Kenyan party life.
Wow.
Like the nightlife here is.
Yeah, everyone talks about the nightlife here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's you can't even compare to anything.
Yeah.
Not that I'm the biggest partier, but
Yeah.
I do it.
I mean, we
love
like to
it.
have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and people are friendly.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
forthcoming. The problem is when you start disagreeing.
Right.
So if you want very good friends, just agree with them and all will be good.
Hold it right there. Let's take a short break. Let's take a water break. Guys, we're hanging out with Morten Gottliebsen.
Yeah.
There you go.
got it.
He's a transformational coach, and we're talking about some of the things, some of the norms, Kenyan norms that are actually holding us back from being the best version of ourselves in this amazing society of ours. Now, what I need you to do is get onto that hashtag after hours on Spice and jump into this conversation. I want to read some of your reactions, your comments. If you want to give us a call, remember the phone lines are open on 0719 012 600. Right now, I've got a new one by Ice Cube, and it's called It's My Ego.
Nice one.
Twende kazi. We're coming back in a bit. Happy holidays.